All right, we are just about 20 minutes away from kickoff in the annual Cyhawk Series, Iowa against Iowa State. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson as we preview the big showdown that you can listen to on News Radio 1040 WHO with Gary Dolphin and Ed Podolak. Ross, it's been a weird Cyhawk week, hasn't it? It's been almost melancholy-like.
Yeah, melancholy is a good word for it. Soft spoken. There's not been a lot of chest pounding. I've seen no peacocking, as what Luca Garza's dad would probably like us to say. This has been a strange week, Travis, where normally Hawkeye and Cyclone fans are really giving it to one another. That you see a lot of my team's going to win by 30. I've seen none of that. Very little confidence on both sides. A lot of people predicting very low-scoring games. There are those outliers. We all have friends who think our team is going to destroy the other team. And obviously here on this program and the people that are listening and watching this, most of that is probably, we think that the Hawkeyes can rebound from a really, really bad offensive performance last week and continue this dominant streak that they've had over Matt Campbell and the Cyclones.
You know, the weird thing is last week before Iowa played, the line was sitting at 6.5, dropped down to about 3.5. And people still, though, I've listened to a lot of sharks, a lot of gambling guys who've said they still believe Iowa's going to win in a low-scoring game. I did see something on CBSSports.com today where they did a simulation of this game like 10,000 times, right? And like each time the game hit the over. Now, the overs, depending on where you're at, I've seen it at 40, 40.5, up to 41.5. You know what? Because we don't think it's going to hit the over, it's going to hit the over.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just
that's how gambling works. That's
yes.
why the casinos have all the lights and all the fountains and all the fun, because they have all the money, and they get all the money because they're good at this and we're not. And you're right, Travis. This again, I don't just say it. I'm not a gambler, but the lines are fascinating to me. This is one. Everybody I talk to thinks that this is going to be a low-scoring game. I mean, I joked in a text earlier, the final score of this game is going to be 2-1. They're going to give Iowa State a point for coming over and suffering through an Iowa football game.
In wrestling terms, it's a stalling point. They get a point for Iowa stalling.
Right.
You know?
I think, they should just, Dan Gables just walk around the entire time like this the whole time.
Last week, a lot of people making fun of Iowa. A lot of people making fun of, not defensively, because their defense is really good. And you can see what Iowa ranks right now in the top 12 nationally in 6 categories. They're making fun of Iowa because of offense, because for a Power 5 Big Ten school that's coming off a division championship, not too many people have seen an offense as bad as what Iowa was last week.
Travis, we've sat here for years and watched Kirk Ferentz and Brian Ferentz and whoever. This offense, we've seen versions of this. It seems like a game or 2 or 3 or 4 every year. We get performances like that. Man, there is some encouraging stuff that's out there that after performances like that, it's very rare to have back-to-back performances that poor. So that's a good. There are some positive things to take away from last week's performance, and one of them is exactly that. Like, it can't get any worse, right?
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, it can't get any worse. It cannot. Well, I better not say that, because just when I say it can't get any worse, it possibly could. John says, I think Iowa's defense finds a way to overcome the offense once again. 20-17 late in the game. Drew says 16-13 Hawks, block field goal at the gun.
I mean, these are not confident picks, right?
No.
The defense will overcome the offense? He's talking about our offense. He's talking not they're going to be better than the other teams. He's saying our defense is good enough that we can win in spite of how bad our offense is.
Now, conventional wisdom would tell you, because it's been raining. I drove over from Omaha this morning, right? It rained the entire way. Since I arrived in Des Moines about 1 o'clock, it's been raining. The rain's supposed to hit Iowa City around 3 o'clock. I guess conventional wisdom would tell you the ground game is going to have to be key here, depending on how wet that football is, how hard it starts raining, and could that affect Hunter Dekkers, who threw the ball all over the place last week?
And I think it absolutely – a lot of things are going to affect Hunter Dekkers today. I mean, we're going to find out a lot about that young man here in the next couple of hours. And it might be fantastic. It might be that this is a really good quarterback, but if he does stumble a little bit today, weather is one of those things. Playing his first game at Kinnick is one of those things. So yeah, I'm not sure what to expect from Hunter Dekkers, but I do think that at the end of this game, we're gonna have a much clearer idea of how good of a quarterback that is.
Yeah, Iowa wins 27-10, raining hard in Newton right now. So there it is. It's already to Newton, and it's raining hard. I don't think it's, they thought 5 o'clock to get to Iowa City. I bet by 4 it's raining in Iowa City.
Man, Travis, I'm surprised it's not sprinkling there now. I mean, we've had precipitation in the area for a long time. The rain, I do think the rain's going to be a factor at some point in the game. Now, if Iowa State's got an hour of good weather to air the ball out, and they're able to put some points on the board, then the Hawkeye offense is in big trouble. We know Gavin Williams is out again, so that means LaShawn Williams is going to have to carry the water. 24 carries last week. I would expect he's going to have to be in that range again today. We were just listening to the pregame when they were talking about Iowa's struggles running the ball against Iowa State over the last couple of years. And you put that in conjunction with the fact that Spencer Petras did not look good, has not looked good. It's not a confident feel going into this game.
Well, with Keegan Johnson most likely out, Nico Ragaini not playing again. There's some studs that are missing from this Iowa.
Justin Jacobs gone from the defensive side. A few others in there that we're missing, Trav, and we're kind of going off the top of my head here, but I know there's another injury there too.
The interesting part is Iowa State has lost 6 in a row in this, has not won since 2014. This is the first game at Kinnick in the Cyhawk series since 2018. I mean, it's been 4 years since they played at Kinnick Stadium because of the COVID year and everything like that. Crazy, isn't it?
It doesn't seem right. Like when we had John Walters on the Morning Rush with us earlier this week, and he said the entire Iowa State roster has taken 8 snaps inside of Kinnick Stadium. And it's one guy. There was one guy that was a part of the team back in 2018 that's still on the roster today. That actually took snaps in that game. That doesn't seem possible to me that it's been that long. But, man, I'm not the only one. These last couple of years, time has just been different. Different.
It's a really good way to look at it. And speaking of time, the game's going to kick off just after 3 o'clock on News Radio 1040 WHO. Here's the plan. The game kicks off at 3. We believe the Jethro's Barbecue Sound-Off will start right around 8 o'clock tonight, somewhere between that 7:30 and 8 o'clock time frame. I believe we're scheduled to be on the air till 11, if I'm not mistaken. I'm getting a thumbs up from Tony who says, yep, we're supposed to be on the air till 11 o'clock tonight. So it's either going to be group therapy again. It's either going to be a pity party or it's going to be a celebration. You don't know how it's going to turn out. But again, I'm not here to make any bold predictions because I haven't had a strong feeling about this game all week long, right?
No bold predictions, but a guarantee, and that is that the sound-off shows after Cyhawk games are always bangers, man. They're just awesome. We've got that captive audience coming from Kinnick. We're going to have Iowa and Iowa State fans listening and calling in no matter the outcome. I mean, blowout, close game, either team victor. The show is going to be a lot of fun tonight, so I'll look forward to it.
Keep an eye on obviously special teams. We know that. Keep an eye on turnovers and penalties. I know that's very simplistic, and you're like, well, that's every game, but it's the truth, right?
When the margin of error and margin of victory is going to be that small, Travis, That's absolutely what it's going to be. You're not, obvious things doesn't have to go unsaid, and smart of you to bring them up here. That turnovers are probably going to spell or tell the story of this game if special teams don't.
So if you haven't ordered your Jethro's yet, we highly encourage you to do so. They can deliver. You can pick up. Lots of locations throughout the Des Moines Metro, also up in Ames. Our favorite happens to be Bacon and Bacon because, well, that's our go-to, right? The Bacon and Bacon out in West Des Moines, which is really good.
Listen, I've been back to the Jambalaya and Jake's. That's, as my son would say, it's a banger.
See, there you go. And I'm still partial to the sound-off sandwich, to promote the brand because it's for the brand, right? But again, order your Jethro's if you haven't done so. Game starts just after 3 o'clock. Eddie and Dolph going to be on News Radio 1040 WHO. We'll be back after the game. We'll be back here live on Facebook and Twitter at halftime and then immediately after the game. And then, of course, we'll be live on News Radio 1040 WHO till 11 o'clock tonight, taking your phone calls and having fun, talking about what we think and we hope will be an Iowa Hawkeye win. For Ross Peterson, I'm Travis Justice. We will see you at halftime. See you then.